Hello, and welcome to Confessions of a Dog Trainer. This is one of our trainer mentor sessions, and I am hopeful that it encourages other trainers out there or owners if you're listening. Hello. But I've really been feeling a pull to uh, do some more trainer stuff, and I'm currently feeling a little bit overwhelmed with ideas in my business, what to focus on, what to prioritize on the creative side of things. And the podcast is a really easy thing for me to do. Now that I have the setup right and all of that, it's really easy for me to sit down and talk with you and kind of tell you uh, what I'm thinking. So, first, a little ode to my dad, as always. I've got my cup of joe, and I'll wait for you to get yours. It's actually empty. I just finished it, but I love this little moment. And I'm wearing his high school class ring. My mom gave it to me, and we originally were thinking of like repurposing it into some kind of piece of jewelry, but it fits my finger, which uh, I think maybe at one point it would have made me feel like, oh, I wish my fingers were smaller, but I'm actually really grateful that it does fit because I really like how it looks. So, anyway, today's episode, I just thought of this morning and wanted to come on and talk to you about it. It's from selling to serving. So this is kind of vulnerable, but I really, for some reason, feel like this is a easy space for me to be vulnerable. And I'm just always thinking I really want other trainers to hear stories that I've been through or experiences. And I don't know, I hope that it helps you feel less alone, more confident, or like you're not the only one. That's a big thing for me because I felt very lonely when I was first getting into dog training, and community really helped with that. So I'm hoping this can be a little piece of community for you. So from selling to serving. So I remember those of you who don't know, I run it's a 4-day seminar for trainers. I also think of it as like a mastermind. It's a really cool week together. It's a great way to find community. It's a confidence boost. It's inspiring. It's motivating. It's just all the things that my friend Kate and I, who I run it with, Canine Dog Training, we came up with this idea, and we're just really excited to work on it. And so we just recently did our third one, I think, our third one. Um, and it also motivates us just as much. It's just such a cool week to be together. But when we first started doing this, I was terrified. I do not like talking in front of people, in front of groups. One on one, I'm great, but in front of a group, no way. It's like I remember a couple of years ago or 3 years ago when Bobby and I traveled out west in our van with our dogs, and I really wanted to stop at this one rescue, NW Dog Rescue. Oh my gosh, believe I can't remember the name. But they're out in Oregon, and they have a senior dog sanctuary. And I love taking pictures. Photography is just one of my great passions. Anytime I take pictures of the dogs I'm working with, it just ignites it even more and reminds me, oh my gosh, you need to take pictures every single day. So we added that to our stop. I reached out to the owner of that rescue, and she was happy to have me come over. And so I went and started taking pictures of the dogs that they had in who were looking for homes. And I enjoyed it so much. And two of the girls were talking to me, and they were like, hey, if you ever want to do like, a weekend workshop, we could get a bunch of owners together, and we could probably do it like over in California or here. If you ever come back, I think it would be a really cool workshop idea for, as a dog trainer, so you can, help owners in person. And when she was saying this, I was like, wow, that's a really cool idea. I would never do that. Ever, ever. I just do not like doing stuff in front of people. It took me about a year and a half to feel confident doing my go home sessions with one owner at the end of the board and train program. And I used to feel a lot of, not shame so much, but like, you should want to do something like this. This is an opportunity. What a cool opportunity. You should want to do this. But my personality, I've just learned I have some serious strengths, and I have other things that I'll leave to the other dog trainers. And it's like with, and she's one of my best friends, Kate, at Canine Dog Training. She is great at speaking in public. Great. Me, I get sweaty thinking about it. Our first trainer in U week, I was so nervous. Sometimes I thought people could for sure see my heart beating in my throat. I was just so nervous to talk in front of people. And because I took it as, if they don't like it or whatever, it's a reflection of me. So I would take it very personal. It was very ego driven, um, and all about me. That's how I felt. I don't think I would say that at the time, but um, I wanted people to like me, wanted them to think that I was knowledgeable, that I was good at what I was talking about, and that they should listen and take my advice, all of that. And Kate is she just comes across very confident, and she's such a great person. And I adore her in so many ways. And that is something about her that I wish I was a little bit more like that. Um, so I remember at the first trainer renew, it was in Wisconsin, and I remember, I forget which day it was, but it was probably like about dog trainer stuff. So the days are split up for different topics. My favorite day is content day. I think that's day 3. The day before that, it's like, I think it might be the owner nitty gritty is what we call it. But there's a lot of storytelling about owners and kind of telling how our process working with owners and how our program has become very owner focused. We think this is a big strength and something we want more trainers to do. We just think that it's a great way to have a successful dog training business. And I remember going out with Bobby to let our dogs out, and I felt so anxious. I was like, I think I felt like an imposter, imposter syndrome, where you feel like, what am I doing here? Like, I don't. I'm sure people look at me and don't think that I'm an expert at this stuff. I think because I've always said that I don't love dog training. I love the creative side. It is just it. I like my whole business is around the creative side. And it's been a really great strength in my dog training business with owners, with dogs. But when I sit down with a group and we're just talking about business, I feel a little bit inadequate, even though I know I have strengths in that area. But I felt very anxious, and I was telling Bobby this, and he was like, just, whatever he said. It was very, you know, sweet and nice, and he helped me feel better. Um, so that was the first one. Most recently, our third one, I felt different. The second one was also in Orlando, and I was really nervous still. A couple of days before, I was really like nervous, like, oh my gosh, am I going to be good? Um, so I was pretty nervous still that second one. The third one, I felt like my dad was with me. And I have, can you see if you're watching this? This picture is my dad's, and it reminds me of him. It has the word Joe on it. It's a baseball player, those of you who can't see it. And it's a big framed picture that we have in our living room. So during the Trainer and You week here, we were sitting pretty much where I am now, but facing the other way. So the whole time I could look at that picture if I needed to for encouragement. And I did on so many occasions. And I just kept coming back to this idea, just serve. Just you're here to help these people. It's not about you. And so going back to something my dad told me that was just so powerful and one of the best pieces of advice he ever gave me. I was telling him before the first Trainer New week that we did, so our very first one, and I was telling him how nervous I was. I mean, I've been so nervous about talking in front of groups of people that I even went to Toastmasters with my dad. Um, this was, I think, before, no, maybe like my first year of dog training. But it's a group that meets usually at libraries and stuff like that to help you get better at public speaking. So you would come up with speeches and you would say it in front of this group of people. My dad was great at that. Me, no. I just get shaky. It makes me like total cringe and sweaty and I did not get better after that, although I would recommend people doing it. It's just a great experience. And I'm so grateful I got to do it with him. But so I was telling him about the week, and I'm just so nervous. And he said, just focus on serving the people that are there. Don't worry about yourself. It's not about you. How can you help the people that are there? Because ultimately, that's why you're doing this week with trainers. And I was like, okay, makes so much sense. Okay, let me try. And I was still super nervous at the first one. And it didn't really hit me until the third one. And maybe it's because he's no longer here. I felt like his spirit was with me. I felt that very, very strongly. And I wasn't nervous the day before, wasn't nervous the night before, wasn't nervous the morning of. Usually when like people are getting ready to come into your home for this week, I get very nervous. I have the past 2 times. This time I was actually kind of excited. And I really think that was my dad with me, giving me that little bit of like a confidence boost. So the week's going on, and it was day two, and I'll never forget, um, where we do one-on-ones with trainers. So they can ask us questions. It's just a very specific one-on-one time with each trainer that comes to the Trainer and You week. And I remember we were sitting outside, and one of the trainers put down her notebook, and I could see it said questions for Kate. And I was like, oh, she doesn't think that I'm a good enough trainer to ask trainers to ask questions about training. Now, because of that moment, I have built up this idea. You know how it is when you have these insecurities and then someone says something and it triggers that insecurity. That's totally what it was in that moment. And in that moment, I remember thinking, just serve these people, serve this trainer, which sounds kind of weird. Sounds kind of like, well, I don't know. Anyway, I was like, this is not about you. This is about her. How can you help? Don't look too much into this. And so she did ask a lot of questions from Kate, which is great because, again, Kate is very knowledgeable in the training stuff and she's very business minded, which I think I am too, but I thrive with the creative stuff. So asking the questions, I'd give some input. But it was one of those moments where, your heart drops and you're like, oh, like this does not feel that great. You're just reading so much into the situation, even if it doesn't mean what you think it means. And again, triggering those insecurities. So came back in for the afternoon session with everyone. I remember sitting and looking at this picture and just thinking, just serve these trainers. This is not about you. This is about them. And I think this is kind of relatable for any of you with owners you work with or online stuff. It's so easy to get caught up in this, whatever I'm sharing, because content is a very vulnerable thing. Leading a seminar with fellow trainers is a super vulnerable thing. Putting yourself out there and saying, hey, you want to come to this thing that we're excited about? It's vulnerable. So anything you share creatively is a very vulnerable thing. I would come try to come back to that because it's really helped me in those moments where it's like, ugh, this feels so like, I don't know, it makes me feel like I'm doing something wrong or I'm an imposter or whatever. But if you come back to, you really want to help the people who your content is for, that's what matters the most. And so I kept coming back to that day. The afternoon was great. And then the next day was my favorite day, content day. And now I know I just have to wait until content day. Everything else I love. Like I love telling stories and being a part of the process with Kate. And I also love listening to her talk about stuff. I've taken some things that she's said and use it in my business. And I know same for her, vice versa. But day three, uh, the same trainer who had a session with us and wrote down questions for Kate, she came up and specifically asked me for advice. This seems so silly, but I hope it's relatable. And asked me for advice about, she wanted feedback on something she was doing creatively. And I was like, oh my gosh, yay. I think because we all are going to have these moments where maybe we look really into a message we got from an owner and we assume that it's the worst case scenario. And then 2 days later, we get a message from someone who was referred from the previous owner you got that message from. Do you know what I mean? It's like these little things where it's so easy to get wrapped up in the current moment. And that's why I really like the mantra that my dad helped me come up with. It's about them. It's not about me, especially when you're someone who is teaching things like a trainer and helping owners and maybe helping other trainers yourself. It's it's a really good one to come back to. So when that happened, it was a little bit of a confidence boost because I was like, okay, yeah, I'm relevant. They want help from me. Um, and again, it just reminded me that one, it's okay as a trainer to really like some things and not like other things. Or like for me, I always felt so odd that I loved the creative side. I thought it was a weakness. And it's turned into not a weakness. It's actually something that I think I can help a lot of you trainers with. And it's a big part of our businesses, the creative side. So I think it's worth focusing on and thinking about. But it's just, I hope that telling you that story, one, it makes you realize you're not alone in the things that you're feeling, your insecurities, or, um, the whole imposter syndrome. That's real, as dog trainers, new and older. And just always coming back to serving instead of selling. So I like to think of it selling to serving. So there's so many times where I get so caught up in I have a product, let's say the e-collar starter guide that I have, and wanting to sell that product. Where really, and same for you, a lot of trainers I find get very caught up in the pricing of things, or who am I to ask this much money for my board and train, or who am I to offer one on one coaching sessions when I just got into dog training. But really, if you think about serving the people who want help from you, that's all that matters. There are going to be people that don't like what you have, don't like what you're providing, don't like what you're creating, but it's not for them. But if you always come back to, it's kind of like it's like how people have gratitude practices, which I always have such a hard time. Like at the end of the day, write down 5 things. I'm not very good at that, but I think with just coming back to serving and helping other people, it just shifts your perspective. It changes things a little bit because now it's like, well, of course, I'm going to offer this e-collar starter guide or this ebook that I spent a lot of time and put a lot of energy into, because what if it can help an owner who is struggling with their dog? And that's really what matters. The monetary stuff is great. That's an awesome side thing. But something I'll say is that I've gotten sidetracked. So when I first was creating resources to help owners and train, mainly owners at the time, it wasn't about the monetary stuff. It was more about creating something from nothing, which I think is just such a magical thing, and helping people with it. Then making money from it is like total bonus. Now, realistically, we all have to make money. But recently, I've been very sidetracked into the money stuff and wanting to make as much money as possible, where the helping people got kind of blurry. And it's not that I don't want to help, but that I've created things based on what can make the most money. And again, I don't think that that's bad, but I think there's like a little magic space that happens when you work on something that you're excited about, you're passionate about, and can help people. There's something magical that happens. And I think I've said magic 3 times in the past minute, because that is how strongly I feel about it. So if you're wondering about what you should create next, or if you're struggling with charging money, one, read or listen. I would listen to the book. You're a Badass at Making Money. It's such an awesome book, and it kind of helps you switch your perspective from who am I to charge money to, of course I'm going to charge money because I'm worth it and I want to help as many people as possible. So that's a really awesome book. Um, but yeah, go from selling to serving. It's just helped me so much. And I'm really hopeful that it can help you. As always, if you listen to this and you want to let me know that it inspired you, that means so much to me. I've been getting messages from you all from these trainer mentor sessions over on Instagram. Excuse me. And it means so much. You know what it's like to share something and people are probably watching and observing, but if they don't respond, it hits different when someone actually tells you, thank you so much for this. It was so helpful. So I really appreciate that. I love connecting with you. So message me over on Instagram. Let me know that you listened. And yeah, I'm super excited. These sessions I think are so fun. I love doing the owner ones, but these just feel a little more personal and um, I don't know, kind of a space to get real and honest. And I hope that it encourages you. All right, y'all. Oh, and I will add a link to it's our Trainer in You week if you would like any information about that. Yeah, it's a really powerful week. It's not until next year. Okay, that's all. Thank you so much for listening. And until next time, bye.